Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. Welcome to round 7 in the Premier Formula Racing League. Welcome to the Grosse Preis von Oostenrijk. We are here for the second time in Austria. Last season we had the fight between Grovey and Luke Walstow here. And it was decided that it went all to the last race, but this time, however, we are in a very, very different kind of league. Here we are in the pit lane. Very nice. It seems to be dry. I think it's a little bit cloudy. It seems to be not dry at the same time, to be honest, but we will see what the weather will bring us today. Let's first, as always, look at the standings. Start with the driver standings. Nothing really has changed other than Alex made a jump to P3 in the driver standings from last race. It is very close between, well, top all the way from Blom to Alex. I think it's very exciting who ends up in the top 3. In the end, we have still 6 races, I think, left on the calendar. So, still everything to play for, other than Luca is far, far away from all the other drivers. If we then look at the team standings, also there it is shown Tainsy and Luca, of course, are such good teammates. Aston Martin, as it stands right now, are at the top. And behind, we have quite an exciting fight. We saw Ferrari with Plum the other day go for the win and gain some points. They are now P7, but let's see what Plum can do today in Austria, as we have our first lap of the day shown by Coke. We are still on the slicks, so that is good. I'm not sure what the weather will do this race. Unfortunately, we can't see that anywhere. Of course, purple, sector 1, it is the first lap. But Coke, who had a really tough race in Bahrain, didn't score any points, unfortunately. Let's hope for him that he can score some points now for the Williams. Seems that he just goes too wide there. But managed to get on the throttle nice and easy. It will not be the best lap we see this evening. See that Luca is still in the pits, together with Ofek, Sherzy, Plum also still in the pits, and the time to beat the benchmark of today is a 1:58, which I think will soon be broken by the other drivers. Let's see who is in a lap. I think Reese might be in a lap here. He sets a purple sector 2. It's only a short round. Quite exciting. The timings will be very close to each other. We saw last time around here in the qualifying session, the times between the top 2 was only 5 thousandths of a second. So that was really, really close. Let's see if we can experience that same here today, as we see that Reese goes fastest. Nope, Gandalf goes fastest with a 1:49. Now let's see who else is in a round. Zakura was in a lap, but he invalidated. Sapphire was in a lap, but has no energy left, so probably he is not in a lap anymore. We have Wagdy in a lap. I think we also see that Sherlock sets his first time of today, a 1:61, as we are following now Wagdy. see if he can do something. We see purple in sector 2. And he does not go fastest, but only 1/100th of a second behind Gandalf here. So that is pretty close. Let's see what the winner of last time week can do here. He sets a purple sector 1. Actually, I want to see the timings. There we go. Let's see if we can take a look at the timings. What can Plum do here in sector 2? Purple, 45 seconds. Pretty good. So last time around we had some rain. I wanted to see if we could... So last time around, the fastest lap was a 1:12, but it was in the wet conditions. So we cannot really compare those two races to each other. Plum, however, 1:52, not the fastest. Would have expected more. Luca still in the pits for some reason. We have Jerzy here in a lap. And Ofek is in the outlap as well, who starts the lap. Ofek, not been around for, I think, 3 races now in a row. Finally back on the grid. I hope he can produce immediately that pole lap, as we see that Jerzy goes P6 here. Let's switch to Ofek, who immediately sets that purple sector 1. Interesting what he can do. Hasn't been around for the last 3 or 4 races. It might actually be 4 races. Let's see if he can grab pole position right here. On board now with Ofek, who now is in sector 2 and crosses that line. And we see a 44.9. Fastest time we have seen here in sector 2, as he almost loses the car, was a 45. Now, through the last couple of turns, Plum Ofek goes. And he invalidates right there. But we can have a look. He would have set a 1:46. That would have been good for pole position for now. Jerzy had a little bit of a spin there. And let's see, is Gandalf in a lap here? I think he might be. And he immediately also sets a purple sector 1. He improves. We saw that Ofek could do a 1:46. What can Gandalf do? First we see Reese cross the line. Not improved by anything. Wagdy also did not improve, but probably he is starting a lap right now. We have Biscuit, who is a 10th slower than he was in the lap before. And then we have Gandalf. Through the last section we go. He is a 10th slower than he was on the previous lap. He improves, but only by 0.04 of a second. Not good enough. Well, it is good enough for now, but we saw Ofek go for the 1:45. So let's see. Ofek in the pit. Luca and Tainsy still in the pit. They probably want that extra set of soft compound tire. I would imagine that is the case here. Otherwise, why would you wait so long? They can also go for a 1 lap strategy. So they have 2 sets of soft compound tires. But again, why would you do that? Let's see if someone is on a lap here. Biscuit is on the lap, but he is a tenth up by his own time. Will not be enough. Oh, and Sherlock here spins around. Surprised that he didn't lose his wheel there. Anyway, back on track. And he invalidated, of course. Jared Groker, is he in a lap? He might be, actually. Although if he is quite slow through this section. We saw a 44.9. With Jared Groker, we see a 45.6. But he improves by more than a second, so... Let's see if he can crawl into the top 10 here. Sector 3. Nice and clean there, not crossing any lines. He goes P8 for now, as it seems. Luke Wallstone, currently P3 with a low 1.5, who is warming up his tires, which probably means we can drive along with Luke Wallstone for his flying lap of this qualifying session. Takes a wide line and goes across start, finish straight. Into turn 1 we go here. Can he get a nice exit? Yes, he can. He gets a brilliant exit. Now up the corner we go. It's a difficult corner because you need to brake late and go on your throttle very early, and he does so. I didn't see if he got a purple sector 1. But who did get a purple is Plum, who is now in P1 for now with a 1.47. Again, we know that Ovek can go faster. But first we have Luke Wallstone here. And again, I didn't see the time. I am paying my attention to something else. But it will be a surprise, to me at least. Now, DRS wide open across the line for a 1.46. He improves and he's a 10th up by Plum. Now, let's see who else is in the lap. Is Ovek already in the lap? You want to see him if that is the case. I think he is warming up his tires. As Luka Jovic crosses the line with a 1.449. Now, question is, will that be his final time? We have seen that before with Luka Jovic. Only do one lap and see if that is enough. We still have 5 minutes left in this session, so anything can happen here. Let's see, Sapphire in a lap. 11 thousandths up by his own time. Monzaliti goes across the line and takes P8 here with a 1.52. It's very close in that top 10 and outside of top 10. First up, we have Sapphire, who crosses the line here with a 1.50. That takes him to P7. But we saw from Sapphire in the last race that all that matters to him is the race. He is good in strategy and he is good in racing. He is good in managing his tires. So that is the most important thing to watch in the race. 4 minutes left on the clock. Who is in a lap? We have Gandalf in a lap. Currently P4, but he has broken down his lap. Not worth watching anymore. Wagdy is in a lap, but is almost a 10th up by his own time, so won't improve. Few minutes left, everyone goes into the pits except for Wagdy. Wagdy is still running, and he goes wide and has invalidated his lap. That means he is done. 3 minutes left on the clock. Will not be enough to go in, put a new set of soft tires on. It will not be enough for Wagdy. Everyone in the pits, except for the AlphaTauri of a Groker. We have Biscuit still on the track. Is Biscuit in a lap? I don't think so. And goes wide, but improves. 1.56 for Biscuit. So, between the top 6, we have half a second. And from P6 to P2, we only have 0.3 of a second. It's close between everyone here. Still everyone in the pits, but we see that some people are going out here. Alright, Tainsy starting his lap in front of the whole group. Here on board now, currently P6, but can he make a 1-2 for the Aston Martins? That is the question behind. We have Jared Groker, who is currently P5. And Luka Jovic also starting the lap right now. He crosses the line as we speak. We see Gandalf retired from the session. He will not be competition anymore. Unless Tainsy messes this lap up and he needs to start behind. Luke Walstow also retired from the session. Did his lap and he thinks that it is enough. So, Plom now starting his lap, crosses the line as we speak. And we see Tainsy going fast here. Oh, and too fast as he crashes out and lost his wheel. And behind we see also the AlphaTauri of Monsalito out and spinning into the pit lane. Then we have the Aston Martin of Luka Jovic. Is he improving? Where is he? There he is. Luka Jovic, will he improve? Well, he goes very wide there. And again, and he invalidates the lap. So that will be his time. A 1.4495. The only man who can beat him, then still on track, is Plom. Or Ovek is also still running. And Ovek goes P5. A 1.48. Plom, can he go fastest? Can he take pole position here in Austria? He is not going to do that because he invalidated the lap. And that means that we have our pole sitter of today. Again, it is Luka Jovic. Now the question is, he always says, oh, I drive away. They won't see me. I only have to look in more mirrors now. Last time out we saw him spin. We saw him make some mistakes. Is he awake now? Well, he currently is in qualifying session. He takes P1 here. He takes pole position in Austria. The results of the qualifying session. Luka Jovic will start alongside Luke Walstow. Behind him we have Plom and Gandalf. Ovek, Jared Groger have the third start line. And we have Tainsy and Wagdy. Tainsy will not be happy. He isn't happy at all with his qualifying pace, because he needs to be alongside Luka Jovic in that front row. Wagdy, Sakuro, Sapphire completes the top 10. And what can we expect from Sapphire in this race? We saw him go from P11 to P3 in the race of Bahrain. Can he do the same here in Austria? Or maybe even better. Can he get a better result? We need to see that. Now, the most important time of this Sunday. Luka Jovic in front, then the Alpine of Luke Walstow. With on P3, the Ferrari of Plom. 3 constructors fighting for that P1 position. In 20 seconds, we will go straight into the race. No formation lap at all. Racing it will be. It is Sunday, the 14th of May. It is round 7 of the Premier Formula Racing League. We have 5 red lights and they are out and we are on our way here. Luka Jovic takes the pack to turn 1 and the Alpine already caught the Ferrari of Plom there, and Plom goes wide and loses a lot of positions, unfortunately for him. And the Aston Martin there of Tainsy already in P5 into turn 1. Not that exciting at the front as it seems, but behind we have the broken front wing from the McLaren alongside the Williams, and the Red Bull there goes off the track and is back on track now. Now the Mercedes of the Haas in a fight here in behind. Not really much, but look at Sapphire. Sapphire, the one who we expected that must gain some positions, now loses his front wing and still is in a fight with the Williams. I don't know how he can fight him at this point of time, but he has some damage. He needs to go in. Currently Plom, also a bad start from him. P5 already overtaken by Gandalf and Ovek also. We have a yellow flag here. Think that will be for Wagdy and Sapphire who go into the pit. And Luke Walstow already 1.3 seconds in front of Luke Walstow. Let's see what tires they are on. Look at that. Oh my god. Luka Jovic on the soft compound tire, starting at the fastest compound. And that is why he didn't qualify earlier. He wanted to start on that soft compound tire. Luke Walstow and Gandalf both are on the medium tire. And further up the grid we see Ovek on the hard compound tire. That is quite interesting. And we see Coke spinning around and losing a couple of positions, but did not lose his front wing as it seems. Did he? Doesn't seem like it. Sakuro now gets past. That is probably because some people are into the grid bit. We don't see that, unfortunately. But look at Jovic, look at that already. 3-second time penalty. Where did he get that? Already corner cutting. Not very nice in this stage of the game. Already a 3-second time penalty. And Plom is in the DRS zone of Ovek. Ovek on that hard compound tire wants to keep this position, of course. But Plum is very close and on the medium compound tire. He needs to get past Plum in order to win this race. Because I think that is his plan. Certainly with a 3-second time penalty of Luka Jovic. And Luke Walstow already within that 1 second gap. So he has the DRS. But Luka Jovic is falling back very quickly. He is on the soft compound tire, but it seems like the soft compound tire is already going down, as it seems. And Luke Walstow is gaining and very hard. And who is gaining as well is Plum here on Ovek. And Ovek lets him go. He knows that he is on the medium compound tire. Ovek plays the long game, of course. Now Plum onto Gandalf, his next target. Luke Walstow still within that 2 seconds. You would think that Luka Jovic would run away with this on the soft compound tire, but as it doesn't seem like it, as we see that two people are going side by side now. Jared Kroger together with Shankstar. Jared Kroger pushes Shankstar onto the curb here, but they leave each other enough space, just about, and they are fighting for P11. They must be very proud, of course, but we see some brilliant racing. Luke Walstow still behind Luka Jovic. Also, as Luka makes a very big mistake here. And that gives Luke Walstow the opportunity to go for it here. Into turn 4 we go. They are side by side and Luke Walstow takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix here. Luka making a bit of a mistake out of that turn 3. And immediately Luka Walstow is on his tail to take that P1 from Luka Jovic. Luka definitely not happy with his setup because it is not going at all for him on the soft compound tire, and still he is slower than Luke Walstow. But if this continues to go as it is, then we get a brilliant fight between Luke Walstow and Luka Jovic, because Gandalf already in P3, chased by Plum. The Ferrari going around the outside here in turn 3 and gets the move done. Who gets the DRS? That will be Gandalf, and he is on the inside line for turn 4. Let's see if they leave each other enough space. Oh, and Plum is trying it around the outside here. That is brave, but not brave enough, because Gandalf defends like a real driver should do. And still he managed to take that P3. If they are smart, they must not fight, because they need to look forward if they want to win this race. Already 2.5 seconds behind, and we see that Sakuro here crashes, spins around. Not sure what happened right there. Fact is, he's back on track and he lost a couple of positions. Here we have a nice shot from Luke Walstow and Luka Jovic fighting for the win. And Luka Jovic is really getting a good exit here, but Luke Walstow is getting a better exit as it seems. Luka Jovic, however, with the DRS and tries it here around the outside and gets the move done indeed on that soft compound tire. We need to bear in mind that Luke Walstow can go longer here, and Luka Jovic needs to pit earlier. But we also need to keep in mind, Luke Walstow doesn't have a set of soft compound tires in his garage left over, so it might well be that Luke Wolstow will go to that hard compound tire. And however, Luka Jovic will go to the medium compound tire. So Luke Wolstow will stay on the worst tires. Now, will they switch positions again here? It will cost them time, you would say. But it doesn't really, because Gandalf now on 3.3 seconds. What did I say? Plum. Because Plum made the move here on Gandalf. And the three of them now going into turn 4. And Gandalf is alongside Plum. Do they leave enough space to each other? Yes, they do. And Gandalf takes the position back around the outside. But Ovek also really on the tail here of Plum. Really close fight between the three of them. Now on the start finish again. The laps are very short indeed. But that gives us plenty of time to enjoy this brilliant fight. As the Ferrari of Plum again gets the DRS together with Ovek. What will they do now? Will Plum go for it again? Yes, he will. He takes the inside line and leaves room for Gandalf, which means that Gandalf will get the better exit out of this corner. And Luke Plum needs to watch the McLaren, because the McLaren of Ovek will go around the outside here. They had a little bit of a touch, I think, but Ovek is now past Plum. They are not teammates. No, they are not, but they need to work together to get to Luke Wolstow. And if they don't pass Gandalf soon, well, then they will never do this race. What a fight we are seeing here, and what is happening to Luke Wolstow? Well, Luka Jovic is going into the pits in lap 10, and he will probably go to that medium compound tire, will he? Yes, he will. And that means he is now free to drive on the medium compound tire. He will drive to the finish line with this tire. Back to the fight. For P2, we see that Ovek passed Gandalf on the straight, and Gandalf gets the DRS back. But will he get the position back as well? He goes for it here. He brakes very late and is now on the inside line of the next corner. But will he take that position? They are still side by side. Ovek has the better exit and Gandalf slips away. And that means that Ovek still has that P2. But look at the time. The defense of Gandalf is really working. He works for Luke Wolstow because he defends like hell. And the time is going up and up. 3.7 seconds now between the top two. But now Gandalf and Plum both get the DRS again, but Gandalf this time is too far away as it seems. Will not make the move here. Oh, as he touches and Plum goes alongside Gandalf. He wanted to take that position, but he didn't get the best exit. Gandalf did, however. Will he dive bomb here? No, he won't. That was a little bit of a mistake by Gandalf. Luka Jovic now in P8. 3.6 seconds behind Jersey. And let's see how much time. How do I do the time? Here we go. is between 16.9 seconds. Pit stop takes about 20 seconds. So he is in front of Luke Walstow when Luke Walstow pits. Still in this fight, Ovek, Gandalf and Plum. Oh, as Ovek makes a little bit of a mistake there. And they are side by side. New Gandalf tries it on the inside here of turn 5 and gets the position from Ovek. They switch positions every time. I'm not sure if that is smart, but for Gandalf it is. Because Gandalf only wants one thing, and that is hold up this pack, and he does that brilliantly. Ovek doesn't want to try anything into turn 1 because he wants that DRS, and he is now very close to the back of Gandalf. What did I say already? Alongside, and Plum also alongside, and can he take Ovek into one go here? He doesn't do that. He gets a terrible exit out of that corner and now needs to watch his back as Gandalf gets the DRS on Plum. Will Gandalf go for the inside here on turn 4? He will. Oh, and they wheel bang here into turn 4. And Gandalf takes the position. What a fight between these three drivers. See a yellow flag for the AlphaTauri of Monzoliti. Not really a day he will remember. Lap 14 is now in P10. No safety car yet, which is also very nice. I hope this will not bring a safety car out now that I have said that. It will not, as it seems. Back to this fight then between Ovek, Gandalf and Plum. Who will go on top of these three drivers? And imagine a safety car. Wouldn't that be something? That it will be Luca, Luke and Ovek, all 5 of them fighting for a position as Ovek again slips away there. This time Gandalf cannot go for the gap. But it seems like the hard compound tire slips more often than Ovek wanted it to do. In the meantime, Luka Jovic already gained some positions, now already behind his teammate Tainzi. Will let him go most definitely. And then if we look at the times between the drivers, Luka Jovic 14 seconds behind the race leader, Luke Walstow. Luke Walstow will go to that hard compound tire, of course. And again, Ovek slips away here. It is not his best corner. And Plum is falling away. Plum is falling away. He is not yet outside of the DRS zone. No, he is still 6/10 in the gap. It can also be that he is saving some energy, that he is saving his tires. And Luka Jovic is now past Tainzi because Tainzi is inside of the pit lane. The first medium runner who goes to the second medium tire. Okay, that is interesting. He goes for a 2-stop strategy. That is interesting because does that mean that Luka Jovic is doing the same? Will Luka Jovic also go for a 2-stop strategy? That is very interesting indeed. Reese also in a fight here with the Haas, and we see that the Haas of Jersey is running out of battery. Battery is low. We see that because the blinking light, well, because the light is blinking. And Plum made a mistake, I think. No, he didn't. He just went into the pits. That is also possible, of course. And who went in the pits as well? It is Luke Walstow. Luke Walstow into the pits. Now, interesting where he ends up. Luka Jovic already goes past Luke Walstow. Oh, and that is a big gap between Luke Walstow and Luka Jovic. 6 seconds between the two of them. Reese now into the pit. And Plum was also in the pit. He ends up behind Luke Walstow. 5 seconds behind. So this should be a very good in-lap. Out-lap, I mean. In order to keep that position. Gandalf going in right now. And let's see where he ends up. Did Plum get a brilliant outlap? Or did he? Still in Sector 3. And Gandalf going to that hard compound tire. He commits to the one-stop strategy. Now, question is, where is Plum? He is now on start-finish. And this will be a very close one. Because here is Plum. And there is Gandalf. And Plum takes that position from Gandalf. The undercut worked on Gandalf. And Plum has the warmer tires. Now he needs to drive away from Gandalf. And can he then go to Luke Walstow? Both on that hard compound tire. And who is on that hard compound tire as well is Ovek, still running. Also committing to that one-stop strategy. And I think that Luka Jovic is going for a two-stopper here. We have a yellow flag. And I think that's Biscuit, who is just sliding, so no safety car as of yet. Jersey now into the pits. Interesting. He started on that hard compound tire, I think. Interesting where he... No, he already pitted. No, he didn't. He goes to that medium tire. And he probably will drive the race fully out. Let's see where he ends up. He also loses a position to Reese. And he ends up in P9. People who still need to pit are Shankstar, Groker, and Ovek, of course. 18 laps already on that hard compound tire. Ooh, and very interesting enough, Shankstar and Monzoliti and Sapphire now in a fight, as Sapphire just went into the pit lane to get new medium tires. Jesus Christ, what is he doing, Sapphire? You need to brake before the corner, otherwise you will run into the back of the AlphaTauri. Ovek into the pits. Ovek into the pits, goes to that medium compound tire, loses the position to Luke Walstow and Luka Jovic. But will he lose positions here? This will be exciting. He goes side by side here with Gandalf on the medium compound tire, who are not really warm at all. He needs to warm up this start before you go to the dive bomb here, Ovek. Very nicely done. Now on the throttle. Warm up your tires and you got these two people in no time. Ten laps on the medium compound tire. 14 laps is about what you can do on the medium compound tire, which means that Luka Jovic will go inside. And then we need to think, Did he spend more than one soft compound tire in the qualifying session? Otherwise, I would not be surprised if he goes to another set of soft compound tires. Again, a yellow flag, this time Shankstar. We did not see what happened there, but we do see that the three of them are very close to each other, with one car fully ghosted and Sapphire spinning around. He had such a good performance last time out, but now he is already a lap down in P11. Back to these three guys who are still fighting with OFEC on the medium compound tire. So you would think that within a few laps you will pass them both. Gandalf and Plum both on the hard compound tire. As Luka Jovic gets another 3-second time penalty. 6 seconds already added to his time. 6 seconds. But Gandalf and OFEC also have time penalties. Gandalf from the pit entry totally messed that one, but OFEC also got a 3-second time penalty. Will be interesting for the rest of the race, as we see that Reese also spun round. It is the race of a lot of spins here, and we see that OFEC and Gandalf are going side by side into turn 3. Oh, and they touch! The inevitable did happen. They touched the both of them, and Gandalf is a bigger loser here because he lost not only his position, but also a lot of time because of this crash with OFEC. And Plum, well, Plum is just Plum. He is just driving away like nothing happened. It seems like he takes that P3 home. Must be certain. Well, OFEC still on that medium compound tire, we must not forget that, of course. Well, let's switch to another battle then, for once, between a Groker and Tainsy. Tainsy not in the position he wants to be, P6 still. Always has that good start, but after the start, he stays consistent. He never blinks out, and we see that right here as well. Because a Groker is trying it. But Tainsy does know how to defend. And does know how to take an exit like he does here. Because he already takes 2 seconds in one corner. Congrats to him. Laps to go here. And Luka Jovic in front. But I think he still needs to pit. As we see that OFEC gets a 3-second time penalty again. Now 6 seconds of time penalties. Same as Luka Jovic. But will Luka Jovic pit again? 14 laps is normal on the medium compound tires. He already has 14 laps. Well, there we go. Tainsy needs to stop as well. Again. Am I correct? There we go. One stop. And Tainsy started on that medium compound tire. And he went to the medium compound tire. Jared Groker needs to stop as well. He already has done 23 laps on the hard compound tire. Well, where will you go on? Will you go to the soft compound tire as well? It will not surprise me at all. And Jared Groker is in a fight with Sherzy, but not only that, Sherzy is on that soft compound tire. If he pits, he will lose, I think, only 2 positions. Go P10. And he might have an opportunity to get past those two again, as Jersey now takes back P7. No, he does not. They go side by side here. Up the hill they go. And Jersey has the DRS and the inside line. And Jersey takes that position. I am wrong. Jersey does not take that position yet. He will get DRS again. Well, Jersey, make your move, my man. There he goes. Jersey takes P7 here, ladies and gentlemen, in lap 25. Fight between Wagdy and Sapphire. We see Monzaliti and Shankstar, yeah, banging each other. Play bumper cars here, of course, not F1. What did you think? And Jared Groger calls the yellow flag. What has happened to him? 5 seconds. He lost 5 seconds there on Jersey. Did he spin? Well, it wouldn't surprise me because you are already 25 laps on these hard compound tires. You can pit a Groker. You can. It's just an option, you know? Amazing stuff. Again, the yellow flag. What do we have? Is that Biscuit? No, it's not Biscuit. It's his teammate, Shankstar. Who likes spinning this race, I think. P13, not a race he would have wanted, but also on a 24 lap old hard compound tire. And he is not going into the pits. Who is going into the pits is Wagdy, and Wagdy is now on the soft compound tire. Coke gets a 3-second time penalty. Wouldn't bother anymore because he's P14, far outside of the points. Almost seems like Luka Jovic is going all the way here. He loses some time. Last time we were here, it was 7.5 seconds. Now it is 6.7 seconds. So he is losing some time. But still on the medium compound tire, 17 laps old. Jared Kroger, 26 laps old, hard compound tire. What are you doing to yourself? If you pit now, you end up P11. When we first talked about it, he would have ended up P10. Now he isn't even ending up in the points if he pits. And he needs to pit, because he didn't yet. Which is a little bit strange, because he has 26 old laps and we are in lap 28. Game, what are you doing? And you didn't stop? It doesn't say he has stopped. But 26 lap old. That's strange. I don't know about that. Alright, let's go back here. Thank you very much. So, a lot of time penalties, especially for the only cookie here right now, Biscuits. Oh, who DNFs immediately. Well, could be. Into the pit lane, no safety car. And that is a wonder because we didn't have any safety car yet here in this round. How special is that? Luka Jovic, he only needs to keep his cool for 7 more laps. And if he stays within 7 seconds, or 6 seconds, he gets that P1 in one way or another. And I think then the main highlight here is the collision between Ofek and Gandalf, which really messed up this race. Because we had a race in our hands, but not really anymore. Except from Jersey and Tainsy again, because Tainsy overtook Jersey somewhere. Tainsy, in my mind, he went from medium tires to medium tires. So he needs to pit. And Luka Jovic gets another 3-second time penalty. And is now on 9 seconds of time penalties. Luka Jovic is really pushing his own limit and goes across it. Because with this time, you will never get P1, Luka. Sherzy gets a 3-second time penalty, but because of that he gets a better exit into turn 1 and he takes back P6 from Tainsy. But Tainsy will think, well, you do that, I get the DRS in here, so I will take you back anyway. And you have that 3-second time penalty, no battery left at all. For sure Tainsy will win this fight. However, he needs to pit. Tainsy still needs to pit. And if he doesn't, then this game is really messed up. Oh, and Sherzy takes back the position. They have some fun, I think, with the two of them. Because Tainsy left the door wide open. And now leaves the door again wide open. As we see someone is off. Luke Walstow getting a 5-second time penalty. And it is starting to rain. It is starting to rain. Holy shit. This race will go from boring to absolutely amazing. Because Sherzy is committing and Tainsy is not. Tainsy is driving along. Luka Jovic also still on track. Who is in the pit then? We see that Sherzy is pitting. We see Ovek going wide, currently in P2. We see Luke Walstow is on the intermediate tires and the DRS is disabled. We are getting rain at the end of this Grand Prix. Luka Jovic is already on the intermediate tire. We totally missed that. Oh, and he almost loses the car there. But still in front. With a lot of time penalties. Let's see, we have Ovek still on the medium compound tire, which means he needs to pit. Oh, Luka. That was the plan you were taking. I did not know it was going to rain, and that is because we don't get a fall forecast. Ovek into the pit and loses a couple of positions, of course. Gandalf will go into the pit as well, together with Tainsy. And Plum, already on that intermediate tire, will go to P3 back again. What did this do to all the time penalties? Well, Luka Jovic still has 9 seconds of time penalty. But if you remove 5 seconds of it, Luke Walstow needs to end up within 4 seconds of Luka Jovic. Will that happen? Well, that is the question. And Sherzy, P5 here. My man. And of course, Tainsy went to the medium compound tire. That is the reason why he did so. He wanted to go to that intermediate tire. Yes, of course. But can Luke Walstow gain time here? Because the penalty removal will not happen for Luke Walstow. He went too fast into the pit. And that is exactly what you get from it. Well, is everyone on the intermediate compound tire? Yes, everyone is now. And the only one who is within DRS, which we don't have, is Sherzy. And Luke Walstow doesn't seem to improve here. And if it stays like this, and Luka doesn't make any big mistakes like he almost did in that corner, then he should just go for the win here. 9 seconds. Let me see the 9 seconds and let me see this. Plum 16 seconds away from Luka Jovic. And a lot of seconds away also from Luke Wolstow, which means that nothing can be gained. However, who is off? It is Wagdy. Wagdy is off the track, causes a yellow flag, and he lost his front wing. Well. The race from Wagdy ends up in a nightmare. Could have go for a lot of points today, but unfortunately, the weather is not letting him. And Luka Jovic, if he doesn't make any mistake, he will get the race win and he will extend his driver championship. Especially because Tainsy is in P7 and will not gain a lot of points out of that position. Lap 35 of 36 laps is started for Luka Jovic. Who has the fastest lap? Let's see. Because we have time enough. Well, it is Biscuit who DNF'd. That is quite funny. So no extra point will be given to the top 10. Because Biscuit took the fastest lap of the race. And at the same time he DNF'd. And no one will improve that. Because it rains. Well, we see a fight going on between Tainsy and Ovek. Ovek loses another position here. Ovek, who could have go for P5 at least in that group with Plum and Gandalf, ends up behind Tainsy. And Tainsy will have wanted that because... Oh, Ovek, oh, don't slip away, oh! Ovek, what are you doing, my man? Slips away, DNFs, could have gone for P5 at least. But now, out of the race, and Sapphire, his teammate just drove by him and sees that the McLaren of Ovek is not anymore. Oh no. At the same time, the last lap is running for Luka Jovic. What a race we have seen, we have witnessed so far. The beginning was very exciting between P2, P3 and P4, between Plum, Gandalf and Ovek. In the end, we had some rain. We thought, what are you doing, Luka Jovic? Starting on the soft compound tire, going to the medium compound tire. You can never drive that to the finish line. But he knew something we didn't know, and that was that it went raining at the end of this Grand Prix. And he takes the checkered flag here in the Austrian Grand Prix. He wins the Austrian Grand Prix, despite the fact that he had a 9-second time penalty. Luke Wolstow crosses the line in P2, and 10 seconds we have to wait for the man in P3. Plum finishes and completes the top 3, completes the podium here. 17 seconds later, we have Sherzy. The timings are divided by a mile, but Sherzy takes P4. Well, we thought he did, but Gandalf takes P4 because of the time penalty Sherzy had. Tainsy, P6, not bad for the championship. Well, it is bad for the championship for Tainsy. P7 for Reese. Sapphire ends up within the points from P11 to P8 for Sapphire, and Jared Groger is P9. But the winner of the Austrian Grand Prix is Luka Jovic once again. And he extends his driver in the Driver Championship as well. Driver of today, Jerzy. Yes, of course. What a drive from Jerzy. Let's see the full drivers standings right now. Jerzy all the way from P11, my mistake, went to P5 despite his time penalty, and Sapphire from P10 to P8. Also Reese P13 to P7. What a race from him. And the top 4 stayed the same, but not during the race. But in the end, it did. So Luka Jovic will extend his championship lead. Plum will take some points for Ferrari. And what interesting things do we have left? Luke Walstow P2, of course, and Gandalf P4. What a fight we have seen between the top. Well, all the way from P2 to P4, and Ovek. What a shame from him. Lost his car during the rain and lost all the points he was fighting for in the race. Well, this was it. Again, the races are so quick in the Premier Formula Racing League. But fear not, we will be back already next week with a new race. And this time we are in Italy, in Monza. So that will be an exciting race as well. I hope to see you all then next week. Thank you all guys for watching. Have a great evening and good night.